The world's nuclear-armed nations spent a record $73 billion on their weapons last year, with the U.S. spending almost as much as the 8 other states combined, according to a new report. The new spending figures, reflecting the highest expenditure on nuclear arms since the height of the Cold War, have been estimated by the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, ICAN, which argues that the coronavirus pandemic underlines the wastefulness of the nuclear arms race. The 9 nuclear weapons states spent a total of $72.9 billion in 2019, a 10% increase on the year before. Of that, $35.4 billion was spent by the Trump administration, which accelerated the modernization of the U.S. arsenal in its first 3 years while cutting expenditure on pandemic prevention. It's clear now more than ever that nuclear weapons do not provide security for the world in the midst of a global pandemic, and not even for the 9 countries that have nuclear weapons, particularly when there are documented deficits of healthcare supplies and exhausted medical professionals, Alicia Sanders-Zacher, the lead author of the report, said. The report comes at a time when arms control is at a low ebb, with the last major treaty limiting U.S. and Russian strategic nuclear weapons, New START, due to expire in 9 months with no agreement so far to extend it. Russia, which has announced the development of an array of new weapons, including nuclear-powered, long-distance cruise missiles, underwater long-distance nuclear torpedoes and a new heavy intercontinental ballistic missile, spent $8.5 billion on its arsenal in 2019, according to ICAN's estimates. China, which has a much smaller nuclear force than the US and Russia but is seeking to expand, spent $10.4 billion. Those expenditures were far overshadowed by the U.S. nuclear weapons budget, which is part of a major upgrade also involving new weapons, including a low-yield submarine-launched missile, which has already been deployed. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the cost of the U.S. program over the coming decade will be $500 billion, an increase of nearly $100 billion, about 23%, over projections from the end of the Obama administration. Congressional Democrats failed in an attempt to curb the administration's nuclear ambitions, but Kingston Reef, the director for disarmament and threat reduction policy at the Arms Control Association, said budgetary constraints in a coronavirus-induced recession could succeed where political opposition failed. There's going to be significant pressure on federal spending moving forward, including defense spending, Reef said. So, the cost and opportunity cost of maintaining and modernizing the arsenal, which we're already punishing, will become even more so.
Russia military robots. An official at Russia's Advanced Research Foundation says that live fighters in the infantry will soon be replaced by robotic brothers. These robot soldiers would be faster and more accurate at target selection than human fighters. The claims build on Russia's continual attempts to introduce lethal autonomous weapons into the military, despite pushback from the United Nations. A new report out of Russia's Military Research Center suggests the Kremlin is close to realizing an army of Terminator-like robot soldiers that could soon replace humans in battle. Living fighters will gradually begin to be replaced by their robotic brothers, who can act faster, more accurately and more selectively than people, Vitaly Davidov told the Russian news agency RIA Novosti on April 21, according to a Forbes report. Davidov is the deputy director of the Advanced Research Foundation, which is Russia's version of the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. Killer robots. This robo-soldier is scarier than the Terminator. Davidov argued that not only will military robots be faster and more discriminating in target selection, but they'll also be more accurate, he says. While machines can already respond to sensor data, no algorithms exist yet that have transferred over the firing response to the machine alone. At this point, the Ministry of Defense says that robots replacing humans saves human soldiers from danger, Samuel Bendet, an advisor at the Center for Naval Analyses, told Forbes. Built into that statement is the assumption that a sophisticated unmanned system would be able to eventually distinguish military targets from civilian ones, avoiding unnecessary casualties. This content is imported from YouTube. You may be able to find the same content in another format, or you may be able to find more information at their website. To be clear, Russia has been wanting robo-fighters for some time now. In February 2019, the Advanced Research Foundation released a video above showing mini tanks that the army could deploy right next to infantry, plus swarms of quadrotor drones. The idea is that both the tanks and the robot swarm could relay target information back to a killer robot that could do the shooting. Later in 2019, an unnamed Russian official told RIA Novosti that the armed forces would use ground robots in urban street battles as early as 2020, building on experience that the military gained in Syria. That source said that the greatest challenge Russia faces in the eventual deployment of a robot army is a lack of central focus. However, they said, by 2025, the Kremlin expects to roll out groups of multifunctional robots that can solve combat missions by deploying each for a particular purpose. Russian defense. Russia field tests its new Armata tank in Syria. Russia bombers overfly U.S. subs during exercise. Russia tests Zircon hypersonic anti-ship missile. Considering that Russia has a history of sabotaging conversations surrounding autonomous weapons systems, this adds up. Last summer, when the United Nations convened a meeting about lethal autonomous weapons, Russia spent its time aggressively undermining the chair's attempts to reach consensus on the draft report that could one day be a treaty against them, according to a report by Reaching Critical Will, the disarmament program of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. According to the report, Russia objected to references to any international law other than international humanitarian law. Despite extensive debate and agreed language from previous GGE sessions, it tried to remove all the references to human control, ethics, and morality, and it attempted to redirect the object of discussion to specific weapon systems rather than emerging technologies, even though the latter has been the framework of CCW discussions on autonomous weapons for years. The U.S. similarly rejected references to a need for human control alongside these autonomous systems, and is also heavily investing in automated robotic technologies for the battlefield, including robotic swarms. Russia has plans to deploy those this year. Vladimir Putin has a history of puffing his chest out when he talks about the Russian military, even when some of its efforts have quite literally crashed and burned. This content is created and maintained by a third party, and imported onto this page to help users provide their email addresses. You may be able to find more information about this and similar content at piano.io.
All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and where I learn this truth. All right, so as you've seen in those clips, you know what I'm saying, the World War III war drums, all right, they've been beaten, all right, but they're starting to beat louder, all right. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, all right, which is the devil that the Bible speaks of, all right, and he is not white, he is red, all right. He has this COVID-19 shit going around right now, which is basically a distraction, all right, from the real, you know what I'm saying, things that are getting ready to take place, all right. Primarily his you know what I'm saying, right here in America, which is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. All right, he's getting ready to crash this dollar. All right, that's why he keeps implementing a whole lot of stimulus and a whole lot of money into the dollar so he can crash it. That way he can switch the debt note over into a RFID microchip. All right, which is his way of getting his birthright back and his blessing back. All right, being able to number the people and, you know what I'm saying, put everybody into perpetual slavery, all right? And the scriptures say that he's going to try to do that, all right, in Revelations 13 and 16. But as you've seen in these clips, all right, these nations are getting their military arsenals ready because they're getting ready to fight, all right? And not only are they going to fight each other, they're going to try to fight the Most High, all right? When the chariots invade these skies, all right, you know what I'm saying, these damn devils, that's why they got a space force. They're going to stop fighting each other, all right? The Most High, Yahweh's going to make them stop fighting each other and team up and try to fight him and Yahweh Shai, all right? And they're going to get utterly obliterated out of the fucking sky, all right? Let me get a scripture to start out. This is Isaiah 13. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. All right, and the Babylon that he's talking about is spiritual Babylon, because when Isaiah was on the scene, the Israelites had already been delivered from, you know what I'm saying, ancient Babylon, all right? So when you read verse 2, it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt thy voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Most High Yahweh of hosts mustered the host of the battle. All right, so that's talking about when Yahweh Shai is going to gather you nations together. Verse 5, it says, when Yahweh Shai is going to gather you nations together. Verse 5, it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Most High Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, all right? And that's talking about the chariots and the ICBMs, all right? They're going to come from one end of heaven even into the other. They're going to come out of the east. The chariots are going to come out of the east, all right? And they're going to go forth throughout the world, delivering the elect and destroying the wicked, all right? Primarily here in Mystery Babylon, all right? And various other places as well. All right, verse 6, it says, hail ye, for the day of the Most High Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. All right, and back up in verse 5 when it says the weapons of his indignation. Let me go to Isaiah 34 now, starting at the top. In verse 1, it says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Most High Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter. All right. Going down to verse 4, it says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their host shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, as a falling fig from a fig tree. All right. And when that's talking about when the nukes come down, when they hit the ground, it's going to make that mushroom cloud. All right. And it's going to explain that in verse 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and the people of my curse to judgment. All right, now Idumea is just a Greek way of saying Edom. All right, so when it just said, my sword shall be bathed in heaven, it's talking about when the ICBMs go up into the atmosphere. So when you jump back to Isaiah 13, in verse 5, it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Most High Yahweh and his weapons, and the weapons of his indignation. So if they're coming from one end of heaven, even to the other, that means they're going to be shot up out of the silos, go up into the atmosphere, and then come down. All right, that's what that's talking about, the ICBM missiles. All right, that's why all these nations, have them. But the two heavyweights that have them are, the two Edomites, all right, which will be the Russians, all right, and the Americans, all right, Gog and Magog, all right, as well as the American E, all right. So that's what that's talking about. All right, when you read verse 7 in Isaiah 13, it says, "Therefore shall all men be fainted, every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames." All right, so that's talking about when them missiles hit, you know what I'm saying? It's going to burn you people up. All right, and that goes for 2/3 of the nation of Israel as well. You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you're going to perish right here as well. All right. But you'll be born again in the kingdom of heaven. But you're going to die on this side. You got to learn death by pain. All right. Verse 9, it says, "Behold, the day of the Most High Yahweh cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it." All right. So let me see. Let me go back to Isaiah 34 now. All right. When you read verse 6, it says, "The sword of the Most High Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Most High Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." All right, and that's, you know what I'm saying? America is, you know what I'm saying, spiritual Basra. All right, and again, Idumea is just the Greek way of saying Edom. All right, and America is spiritual Edom as well. All right, this is spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Mount Seir. All right, because you got to understand, you are a people before you are a place. All right, and it tells you in what is it? I think it's Zechariah. Let me get it. So like 1 second. All right, this is Zechariah 2:7. It says, "Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon." All right, so that's letting you know right there that, you know what I'm saying, people make up, the people make up the places. All right, that's why it says, "Deliver thyself, O Zion," meaning the Israelites that dwellest with the Edomites. All right, that's why America is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. All right, Sodom for the homosexuality and Egypt for the hard bondage that the Israelites was forced to serve. All right, verse 8, it says, "For thus saith the Most High Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye." All right, so anybody that touches Yahweh Shai's people, you know what I'm saying, you got to be destroyed. Even the 2/3, all right, they got to be destroyed on this side. But you know what I'm saying, they're going to get they revenge on you devils in the reincarnation in the kingdom of heaven. All right, and Yahweh Shai is going to destroy you for even putting your hands on them. All right, because a wicked Israelite is better than a fucking heathen any day. All right, verse 9, it says, "For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to the servants, and ye shall know that I am the Most High Yahweh of hosts. And ye shall know that the Most High Yahweh of hosts hath sent me." All right. So Yahweh Shai is going to come back and deliver his people. All right. The elect on this side and the 2/3 will get in the kingdom of heaven. All right. But as far as you ease, all right, let me get Isaiah 54:16. All right. Because you've seen them robots, all right, that Esau is getting ready to put into his army. All right. Esau, Edom, is getting ready. You know what I'm saying? He's the sword of Yahweh Shai, as it says in Psalm 17:13. All right. So the 2/3, you know what I'm saying, are going to be delivered up to the sword, all right, as well as to famine, as well as to the teeth of wild beast, all right, you know what I'm saying, and any other way that Yahweh Shai wants to destroy, you know what I'm saying, the 2/3, but that ain't for the elect of the nation of Israel, all right. Yeah, it's going to be men that perish for the truth's sake, but these types of calamities that Esau is getting ready to bring, you know what I'm saying, on you fucking 2/3 is because Yahweh Shai is going to send them on you 2/3, all right? And then calamity is going to be upon Esau as well, because Esau is a house divided. All right, this is Isaiah 54:16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy." All right, and that's talking about the ICBMs. All right, Yahweh Shai created, you know what I'm saying, he put the spirit on you devils, all right, to create to know how to split the atom and do all of that wicked shit that you do to create weapons of mass destruction. All right, Yahweh Shai puts the spirit on you to do that. All right, because he has a controversy with all the nations. All right, but when you read verse 17, it says, "No weapon," this is for the elect, "no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Most High Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Most High Yahweh. All right, so the elect men of Israel, you know what I'm saying, have no worries when it comes to this. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to be our protection in that day. All right, but you fucking 2/3, all right, and you heathen, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that's left on the shores of America is going to be utterly destroyed and burned up. Anybody that's left in the unholy land of Israel, because them fakes is over there right now, they're going to be burned up, all right, as well as various other places, you know what I'm saying? Parts of Asia is going to be destroyed as well, because the scriptures say, woe be into the Asia and Syria, all right? So, you know what I'm saying, over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, you know what I'm saying, where the Yahweh Shaphat's judgment, over there in Iran, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be a lot of death over there too, you know what I'm saying? And anybody from America that's in the army that goes over there to fight in this war, you're going to die over there, all right? You're going to be dung upon the ground over there, all right? Which means shit on the floor, you know what I'm saying, shit on the ground. You ain't getting no proper burial, all right? You're going to become part of that foundation, all right? But yeah, that's what Esau was doing. You know what I'm saying? I think I got one more precept I can hit in Joel chapter 3. All right, because you know what I'm saying, this is all going to happen to you Edomites because of what you did to the Israelites, all right, as well as you fucking other nations, all right. Let me see, Joel chapter 3, let me jump down to verse 9, all right. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare a war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, and that's what these other nations are doing. They got some artillery on their side. They got Russia and China on their side, so they're not afraid of you fucking Americans, all right? Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. All right, and that's over there in Iran. Verse 13, it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. All right. Verse 15, it says, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. Talking about when the nukes come down, and the Most High Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. All right, so he's only coming back. And when it says children of Israel, it really says sons of Israel, but it's the elect on this side. All right. So the elect of the Israelites have no worries, but you heathen, all right, and all you 2/3, you should be sorely afraid because your destruction is at hand, all right. So we're going to close out with that. Abaratazai, it was edifying. Give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and where I learn this truth. Peace and salutations to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's elect. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Bible Ball, Shalom. All right, Salakia. I forgot to read the scripture as well, but I need to put this with it, all right, because I meant to get it, Salakia, about that, because it was talking about the Russians, all right. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, and the Medes are the Russians. All right, you're not gonna be able to buy your way out of this destruction. All right, anybody that's in America when World War III, you know what I'm saying, starts off. All right, I mean anybody that's left in America once World War III, you know what I'm saying, it has got started. You know what I'm saying. If you don't get beamed up into a chariot, you're gonna be destroyed. All right. You're going to have race wars, sedition among men, all right? All that's going to be taking place, all right? Because when you read up a verse, it says their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished, all right? So Russia has these, you know what I'm saying? They have nukes. They have them robots, all right? You know what I'm saying? They also have the physical troops as well. All right, the Russians or Edomites as well. You know what I'm saying? They're Esau also. And they're just the stronger. They're stronger than these American E's, but you know what I'm saying? They're still the seed of Esau. All right. But yeah, I just wanted to put that with it real quick. Again, Lord willing, it was edifying. All honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Shalom.